I have a statement that I would like to make today. You can't be for God and against him too. You can't be for God and the devil too. Somebody may say, what do you mean? I want you to think about your life, and I want you to ask yourself, do you say that you're a believer of Christ? Do you say you love Christ? And if you say you're a believer of Christ and you love Christ, that means that you want to live a life that's pleasing to Christ. That means that your life is about Christ's ways and you no longer want to live by the devil's ways. But I want you to think about it. Do you raise your hands? Do you say that you're for God, but your lifestyle lives like you live against God? Somebody needs to know on today, you cannot be for him and against him. See, you can't say that you're for God, but you're constantly living against the will of God. I'll give you a couple of examples. See, you can't say you're for God, but you still want to be disobedient to God. See, you say you're for God, but you still want to go where you want to go. You still want to watch what you want to watch and live how you want to live. See, right now, somebody is raising their hand saying that they're for God, they love God, but guess what? They're in that same sex relationship. They love God and they're for God, but you got that man, he doesn't want to marry that lady and live the right way. They love God, but they just want to keep having as how many kids that they want to have, and they don't want to live the right way. Some lady is saying she loves God, but she wants to continue to dress any kind of way. She loves God, but she still want to cuss and fight and do it her way. See, could that very well be you? Could you be that very person that say, hey, I'm for God, but you love to live outside the will of God? See, you say you're for God, but you still want to drink. You still want to smoke. You still want to go to the club. You still want to go to the casino. You still want to gamble. You still want to do everything that the world do. And when your eyes close, you want God to greet you. Think about your life. Are you one of those people that say you are for God, but it seems like you're living against God? And I'm telling you right now, if you say that you're for God, but your lifestyle is living against God, when your eyes close, you will not live with him, but you will have to depart from him. Think about it on today. What is it in your life that you say that you're for God, but you're still living outside the will of God? Are you still watching pornography? Do you still watching those cussing shows, those horrible reality shows? You're still watching things that's not helping you grow, but yet you say that you're for God. So if you say that you're for God, you have to be for the things that God hates. See, that's the thing about it. Everybody want to raise their hand and say they're for God, but how can you not be for the very things that God hates? If God doesn't like it, we shouldn't like it too. Think about it. If God doesn't like it, and if God is not for it, how can we be for the very things that God is against? Some of us are for let the little children choose whatever gender they want to be. Some people is all for that stuff. If my boy want to be a girl, he can be a girl. If my little girl want to be a boy, she can be a boy. How can we go against the things that God hates, but we say that we're for God, but we continue to live outside the will of God? It's my body. It's my choice. If I don't want the child, I don't have to have the child. But we say that we're for God. What is it in your life that you're constantly saying you're for God, but you still say, I'm going to do what I want to do? You say you're for God, but you still keep that bad attitude. You treat people horrible. You're a selfish person. Right now, somebody is walking around with unforgiveness in their heart, but they say that they're for God. But they're walking around right now and they won't forgive a friend. They won't forgive a family member. They've been holding a grudge with somebody for over 10 and over 20 years. They're holding a grudge over something, over somebody for something very petty. Could that very well be you on today? We got to start getting real about this thing, because if you're for God, you have to be for him. And if you're for him, you have to start living for him, and you got to let go of anything that don't represent him, because that was my life, waving my hand and saying that I'm for God, but I was living outside the will of God. I was a lukewarm Christian on my way to hell. On today, choose who are you going to serve. Because if you're going to do it God's way or you're going to do it the devil's way. It's no middle way. And a lot of us got the nerve to think it's a middle ground. It's not a middle ground. If you're for the king, you got to live for the king. Point blank. And it's time for us to get a lot of that mess out of our lives. We need to get a lot of people out of our lives. Because if we say that we're for the king, we can't keep going around the same places that don't represent the king. We can't keep going around the same people who don't represent the king. Going around the same dead-end relationship. Nothing that's helping us grow. When does it come to a point in time where you say it's time for it to go? Overlook your life. Get in the mirror. Seek to have a true relationship with God so you can get rid of anything out of your life that don't represent him, and you can truly start to live a life for him, and you can know when your eyes close, you will be greeted by him. So always remember my closing. Self-examination is the best examination, and Jesus Christ is Lord, and he's all we have. Have a great rest of the day.